Hello, and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jesty one page at a time, one day at a time. This is page number 443. Here we go. Boston's AA's, AA's 12 steps that you turn to, that you to turn your diseased will over to the direction and love of God as you understand Him. Excuse me. It's supposed to be one of AA's major selling points. You get to choose your own God. You get to make up your own understanding God or a higher power or whom/whatever. But Gately, at like 10 months clean at the TSBYSCD podium in Braintree, opines that at this juncture he's so totally clueless and lost, he's thinking that he'd maybe rather have the white flag crocodiles just grab him by the lapels and just tell him what AA God to have an understanding of, and give him totally blunt and dogmatic orders about how to turn over his diseased will to whatever this higher power is. He notes how he's observed already that some Catholics and fundamentalists now in AA had a childhood understanding of a stern and punishing type God, and Gately's heard them express incredible gratitude that AA let them at long last let go and change over to an understanding of a loving, forgiving, nurturing type God. But at least these folks had started out with some idea of him/her/it, whether fucked up or not. You might think that it'd be easier if you came in with zero in the way of denominational background or preconceptions. You might think it's easier to sort of invent a higher power God from scratch and then erect an understanding, but Don Gately complains that this has not been his experience thus far. His sole experience so far is that he takes one of AA's very rare specific suggestions and hits the knees in the AM and asks for help, and then hits the knees again at bedtime and says thank you, whether he believes he's talking to anything/body or not. And he somehow gets through that day clean. This, after 10 months of ear-smoking concentration and reflection, is still all he feels like he understands about the God angle. Publicly, in front of a very tough and hard-ass looking AA crowd, he sort of simultaneously confesses and complains that he feels like a rat that's learned one route in the maze to the cheese and travels that route in a ratty-type fashion and whatnot. With the God thing being the cheese in the metaphor, Gately still feels like he has no access to the big spiritual picture. He feels about the ritualistic daily please and thank you prayers, rather like a hitter that's on a hitting streak and doesn't change his jock or socks or pregame routine for as long as he's on that streak, with sobriety being the hitting streak and whatnot, he explains. The whole church basement is literally blue with smoke. Gately says he feels like this is a pretty limp and lame understanding of a higher power, a cheese easement or unwashed athletic supporter. He says, but when he tries to go beyond the very basic rote automatic get me through this day please stuff, when he kneels at other times and prays or meditates or tries to achieve a big picture spiritual understanding of a God as he can understand him, he feels nothing. Not nothing, but nothing. An edgeless blankness that somehow feels worse than the sort of unconsidered atheism he came in with. He says he doesn't know if any of this is coming through or making any sense, or if it's all just still symptomatic of a thoroughgoingly diseased will and, quote, spirit. He finds himself... Well, we find ourselves at the ends of page 443 on Infinite Jeff, so have a good night.